You reach a point where money becomes boring. You already own every supercar on Earth, so you start buying the truly weird stuff. We are talking about sharks in tanks. We are talking about solid gold commodes. These are the 9 most ridiculous billionaire purchases. And number 1 is a skyscraper for 6 people. Stephen Cohen is a hedge fund manager worth billions. He decides he needs some art for his house. Most people would buy a nice oil painting, maybe a classic statue for the garden area. But Steve went for something a bit more aggressive. He bought a 14-foot tiger shark. The shark was preserved in a giant glass tank. It was suspended in a solution of formaldehyde. The piece is titled The Physical Impossibility of Death. He paid $12 million for this dead fish. It was created by the British artist Damien Hirst, but there was a massive problem with the purchase. The artist had actually made a terrible mistake. The original preservation process was done completely wrong. The concentration of the chemical was far too weak. The shark actually started to rot inside the tank. The skin began to wrinkle and turn deep green. One of the fins eventually fell off completely. The liquid in the tank turned murky and gross. It looked less like art and more like garbage. Steve had spent $12 million on a carcass. Most people would demand a full refund immediately, but the high-end art world is totally insane. Steve actually paid even more money to fix it. They had to hire a fisherman in Australia. He had to catch a brand new tiger shark. They shipped the new dead shark back to England. They injected it with 10 times the formaldehyde. So now he owns a replacement dead shark. It sits in his lobby to intimidate his traders. The original shark cost $6,000 to catch. The glass tank cost around $100,000, so the markup was roughly 12,000%. This is the ultimate flex of absolute wealth. Buying something that literally decays in front of you, and then paying millions more to keep it dead. It is the most expensive aquarium in history, and you cannot even feed the fish inside. We move on to a man named Liu Yiqian. Liu is a former taxi driver turned billionaire. He loves collecting expensive art from Western museums. In 2015, he bought a specific Modigliani painting. The painting is called Nu Couché, or Reclining Nude. The final hammer price was $170 million. That is an insane amount of money for canvas, but the payment method was the real story here. Liu did not wire the money from a bank. He did not write a check for the amount. He pulled out his American Express Centurion card. He swiped the card 24 separate times. Each swipe was for roughly $7 million. You might ask why anyone would do this. The answer is the American Express reward points. Liu earned 170 million membership miles. That is enough points to fly first class forever. He can fly his entire extended family anywhere. He essentially hacked the credit card reward system. The transaction fees alone were mere pennies to him. Christie's auction house had to manually process every swipe. They likely triggered fraud alerts 24 times. Liu just stood there waiting for the receipts. He later said he uses the points for gift cards. Imagine having that many points for hotel stays. He effectively bought a free airline for himself. The painting was just a bonus asset he owns. He keeps the painting in his private museum now, but the free flights are the real trophy here. This is how the ultra-rich stay rich. They find the loopholes in the banking system, and they exploit them for maximum personal gain. He turned a spending spree into a discount. Next up is a member of the royal family. Sheikh Hamad is known as the Rainbow Sheikh. He owns a private island called Al Futaisi, but owning the island was not enough for him. He wanted to make sure everyone knew it was his, so he hired a massive construction crew of workers. He ordered them to dig directly into the sand. They carved his first name, Hamad, into the earth. The letters were over 3,000 feet tall. The name stretched for over 2 miles across. It was so big it was visible from space. You could literally see it on Google Earth. The letters H and the first A were channels. They were dug deep enough for the ocean water, so when the tide came in, they filled up. This meant his name literally flowed with the ocean. The project cost an estimated $22 billion. That figure includes the island value and labor. It is the ultimate act of ego and branding. Imagine writing your name on the actual planet. Aliens looking down would just see Hamad, but nature eventually humbled the Rainbow Sheikh. The tides and winds slowly eroded the sand channels. The name eventually faded away into the beach. He later ordered the workers to erase it completely. Maybe he realized it was a bit too much. Or maybe he just got bored of the font. This is a man who owns 200 cars. He stores them in a giant pyramid garage. He owns a truck that is 8 times normal size. But the island name tag was his peak spending. It proves that money cannot buy you permanence. Even $22 billion washes away eventually. It is a lesson in humility for the ultra-rich. We move on to the founder of Microsoft. Bill Gates is not really a flashy guy. He does not wear gold chains or heavy watches. But in 1999, 1994, he went wild. He attended a very prestigious Christie's auction. The item on the block was a notebook. It was not just any random notebook. It belonged to Leonardo da Vinci himself. It is known as the Codex Leicester. It contains 72 pages of scientific writings. Da Vinci wrote about why the sky is blue. He wrote about the movement of water. He even theorized about the luminosity of the moon. Most of the text is written in mirror script. You have to hold it up to a mirror to read it. Bill Gates won the bidding war that night. He paid $30,800,000. That makes it the most expensive book ever sold. Adjusted for inflation, that is over $60 million. So what did he do with this masterpiece? Did he lock it in a vault forever? Actually, he did something very on brand. He digitally scanned every single page of the book. He turned the pages into a screensaver theme. If you own the Windows Plus pack, you remember. He literally spent $30 million for wallpaper. He eventually loaned the physical book to museums. He tours it around the world once a year, but for a long time, it was just digital content. It is the ultimate flex for a software nerd, buying a piece of history to put it on a monitor. Most billionaires buy yachts to park in Monaco. Bill bought a diary to put on a CD-ROM. Next up is the founder of Amazon. Jeff Bezos has a net worth that is hard to comprehend. He builds rockets and buys newspapers for fun. But his weirdest purchase is hidden in a mountain. He is building a 10,000-year clock. The project is called the Clock of the Long Now. It is located in the Sierra Diablo Range in Texas. Bezos hollowed out a massive limestone mountain. The clock stands 500 feet tall inside. It is entirely mechanical and powered by thermal cycles. It is designed to tick just once a year. The century hand advances once every 100 years, and a cuckoo bird comes out every millennium. He has poured $42 million into this. Construction has been going on for years. The gears are made of marine-grade stainless steel. The bearings are made of high-tech ceramic. It is built to outlast civilization as we know it. He says it is a symbol for long-term thinking. Critics say it is a symbol of having too much money. He literally carved a hole in the earth for a clock. Nobody will be around to hear the cuckoo chirp, but Jeff wants to make sure his legacy ticks forever. It is the most expensive timepiece in history, and you cannot even wear it on your wrist. We are now moving into truly dangerous territory. Clive Palmer is an eccentric Australian mining billionaire. He has a fascination with the story of the Titanic. Most people just watch the movie and cry. Clive decided he wanted to experience the real thing, so he announced he is building Titanic II. This is not a movie set or a museum piece. It is a fully functional ocean liner replica. He claims it will be exactly like the original. Same cabin layout and same dining room menus. Even the third-class cabins will be cramped. He wants the authentic 1912 experience. He originally announced this project in 2012. Then he announced it again in 2018, and he relaunched the project again in 2024. He has burned through millions in design fees. The total estimated cost is $500 million. People are rightfully skeptical about this purchase. The original ship did not have a great ending. Clive promises this one will have modern safety. He says there will be enough lifeboats for everyone. He plans to sail the original route to New York. It takes a special kind of ego to do this. He is literally tempting fate with $500 million. He is rebuilding the most famous disaster in history. He wants people to pay to sail on a cursed ship. The maiden voyage is currently scheduled for 2027, assuming the shipyard actually finishes it this time. It is the ultimate example of money over common sense. Why buy a new ship when you can copy a wreck? We are back on land for number 3. Larry Ellison is the founder of Oracle. He is currently one of the richest men alive. In 2012, he bought something huge. He did not buy a house or a castle. He bought 98% of Lanai. Lanai is the 6th largest island in Hawaii. It is home to over 3,000 people. He literally bought a functioning civilization. He owns the grocery store and the water company. He owns the fire station and the community pool. He owns nearly all the housing on the island. Residents basically pay rent to Larry Ellison. He bought it for $300 million. He wants to turn it into a wellness utopia. He renovated the hotels to be ultra luxury. Rooms now cost thousands of dollars a night. He also closed down the island's only laundry. Locals now have to wash clothes by hand. It feels like a weird social experiment. One billionaire controlling an entire population. He drives around the island in his McLaren. He has total control over the island's future. If he wants to build a statue, he can. If he wants to paint the roads pink, he can. It is the ultimate purchase of power. Owning land is normal for wealthy people. Owning the zip code is something else entirely. Number 2 is completely disgusting. This comes from a billionaire jeweler in Hong Kong. His name was Lam Sai Wing. He wanted to create a unique tourist attraction. He built a bathroom entirely out of gold. I do not mean gold paint or gold leaf. I mean 2 tons of solid 24-karat gold. The toilet bowl is solid gold. The sink and the mirror frames are gold. Even the toilet brush holder is solid gold. The ceiling is embedded with thousands of gems. The total cost was over $100 million. It held the Guinness World Record for years. Visitors had to wear plastic shoe covers. They were not allowed to actually use the toilet, which defeats the purpose of having a toilet. But then the economy took a massive downturn. Gold prices started to skyrocket globally. Lam realized his bathroom was worth a fortune, so he did the unthinkable to his creation. He started melting down the bathroom fixtures. He melted the sink and the wall panels. He sold the gold for a massive profit. The only thing he kept was the golden toilet. It is still sitting there in a showroom today. It is a monument to excess and bad taste. Imagine flushing a toilet worth $5 million. And finally, we have the #1 spot. This belongs to the Ambani family in India. Mukesh Ambani is the richest man in Asia. He built a home in Mumbai called Antilia. Calling it a home is a massive understatement. It is a 27-story skyscraper. It cost over $1 billion to build. It is the most expensive private home on earth. Only 6 people actually live inside it. Mukesh and his wife and their 3 children, and his mother also lives there with them. But they have a staff of 600 people. That is 100 servants per family member. The building has 3 dedicated helipads. It has a garage for 168 cars. It has a private movie theater for 50 people. It has a spa and a temple and a ballroom. But the craziest feature is the snow room. Mumbai is incredibly hot and humid all year, so they built a room that shoots artificial snow. The family can have snowball fights in July. While people outside are sweating in the heat, the electricity bill is over $100,000 a month. It towers over the surrounding slums of Mumbai. It is a vertical palace of absolute isolation. It proves that with enough money, you can ignore reality. You can build your own weather if you want. This is the peak of ridiculous billionaire spending. Nothing else even comes close to Antilia. There is actually a lesson to be learned here. You might look at this list and feel jealous. You might wish you could buy a shark or an island. But notice how many of these things were failures. The shark rotted away and fell apart. The island name tag washed away into the sea. The golden bathroom was melted down for scrap. Even the Titanic II is likely doomed to fail. Money can buy you attention and temporary fame, but it cannot buy you taste or permanence. So do not feel too bad about your bank account. At least you did not spend millions on a dead fish. If you enjoyed this list of financial insanity, you should check out the video on screen right now. It is about the dumbest criminals of the year. They also wanted money, but they were much worse at it. Click right here, and I will see you there.